Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. A measure to promote and prioritize mental health in front of the Appleton City Council tonight will have to get another look.
The council decided to send a resolution that backs mental health awareness and support back to committee. Samantha Cavalli joins us live in the newsroom with details on what happened tonight. Samantha.
Bill and Cammie, there's been an uptick in the amount of people seeking mental health services, and Appleton Alderman Nate Wolf says that he saw stemming from the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, he was hoping to start a conversation about mental health, and now the resolution is sent back to staff after council members say they didn't have time to watch meetings back in order to vote. The wording of the resolution calls for the city to reduce the stigma associated with mental illness through public education campaigns, community events, and partnerships with local mental health organizations. The resolution also encourages the expansion of mental health services, including telemedicine and other innovative approaches. Also wants the city to identify gaps in mental health services and development strategies to address those gaps, plus calling on the state and federal lawmakers to take similar actions. The Alder Wolf drafted the resolution and spoke with us ahead of the meeting, calling this a starting point.
The numbers have been rising over the past couple of years, both in youth, adults and senior citizens, and they're in need of assistance or someone just to be there for them. So we need to really step it up as a city.
Wolf's proposal also calls on state and federal lawmakers, like we said, to take similar actions regarding that mental health. But for now, it's coming back to committee for this proposal. Cammie.